Hey everyone and welcome to another video by Simplilearn. Today in this video we will create a quiz app using React. Whether you are new to coding or seasoned developer, this project will help you sharpen your skills and learn more about building interactive web applications. So let's roll up our sleeves, fire up our code editor and dive into the wonderful world of React. With a focus on simplicity and user-friendly design, we will work together to bring your quiz app to life. Get ready to challenge yourself and have some fun along the way. We will make an app that will ask some questions and at last will generate the score based on number of correct answers you have selected. Alright, so let's get started into building a React app. Just a quick info for you. If you are passionate about full stack development as a career, then join our comprehensive full stack developer course to propel your career as MERN stack developer. Dive deep into MongoDB, Express.js, React and Node.js alongside Git, HTML, CSS and JavaScript, empowering you to craft and deploy dynamic applications and services. With 40 plus micro skilling exercise and 6 plus real world projects, you will hone your skills and tackle challenges like a pro. Master 10 plus full stack development tools and frameworks, accelerating your learning journey with AI coding assistant tools. Take the fast track to expertise and unlock boundless opportunities in the dynamic world of full stack development. Enroll now and shape your future success.
Alright, so now we'll have to navigate to the VS Studio to create this app. For that, we will be creating a folder first of all. Let's create a folder. Let's name it chat React quiz. React quiz. Alright. Now let's go to Visual Studio Code. So this is our Visual Studio Code, and as we can see, this is the Explorer. We'll go to open folder and as you can see, we will select this one, React quiz, in the desktop, that the folder that we have just created. Select folder, and in this folder we will be creating this app. Alright, so yeah, let's first go to the terminal. Now npx create React app, npx create React app, my app. So this is the command that you can put, and this is the command that is being used to create an React app. So you can start with this. You can also copy paste it from the Visual website. So now the app is being created. We'll have to wait for some time. Alright, so it is done. As we can see, now we can navigate to, it's fine, like we know, we'll go to the folder cd. So we named it my app, so we'll have to go inside my app. Now we'll do npm start. Alright, npm start. The server will be online now. As you can see, that will open a server. Localhost 3000. So here our app will be displayed. Alright, perfect. So now let's start with creating the app. First of all, we'll have to check on my app. Inside my app we have this src folder, app.css, app.js, index. All of these things are important. Some of them are not important, but we will not focus on that. Alright, so first of all, we will be creating this quiz app. So for that, we'll have to create a component. Let's name that component as questions, right? So for that, questions.jsx. Alright, so we have created this questions.jsx. So this will be the main component, basically, where all the functionality will take place, mostly. So let's start by importing the library. Import React from React. Alright, now this is a component, so we will be naming it as questions, which is the name of the component. In the return, we will write, first of all, we'll write the div and create a container basically. So let's add div. So here basically div, we will start with the div element that wraps all the content of our quiz application. So we have written div, and we'll also mention the name of this div after some time. Now inside this div, basically we have to create a paragraph, that is p element, that serves as the heading for our quiz application. It will display the basic heading like quiz app or something like that. So let's start and create that. Alright, so we'll start with it. Sorry, here it is. P, class name. Just close the P first. Yeah, let's name the class as container. Right now, inside this, what we can do as of now, let's not do anything. We'll simply write quiz application. Yes, that would be fine. Alright, now after this, we will be creating a container div, that is another div element with the class name container. This div holds the main content of our quiz application basically. So let's proceed with that. Alright, so another div. Okay, so this will contain the entire thing or the functionality. So let's name this one as container and change the name of the paragraph above. Alright, let's name it heading txt or something like that. Alright, so yeah, in this we will write the complete functionality of this code. Most like 90% of functionality here we will write. So now the first thing that we'll be creating is we will use a ternary operator to show the result, to conditionally render different content based on the value of the show result state variable that we will create. The show result state variable we can create now also, and we can create afterwards also. But as of now, let's keep in mind we are basically conditionally rendering different content based on the value of that show result state variable. So let's first create it so that there is no confusion. Alright, so show result, we're just creating useState hook, and then set show result, and think we should keep it as boolean false. Alright, so now let's start writing. Now here we will use a component basically. So that component is, let's say, question result. We will create after this, but as of now, let's pass some value into it. We will be creating that component after some time. Question result, okay. Yeah, question result. Now let's pass some things, like we'll have to pass some scores and all. So basically what we are doing is, like, if the show result basically is true, we will render the quiz result component passing in probes such as score, total score, and try again function. If show result is false, we render the quiz question along with options for the user to select quiz question. So let's start. We'll be passing these. So first of all, we'll pass score. So JSX brackets. Alright, now total score will be needing. Total score will depend on the data. Let's name it quiz data. Quiz data dot length. So here we'll write another function that, let's name that function as reset all. So we will be writing all these functions after this, so you don't have to worry about it. Like reset all function will be writing. Let's write it this way. Alright, so here we are. I just first want to create a basic structure. Right now, class name, question. Alright, so So inside the div with class container, if show result is false, we render the quiz question. We have another div with class question to display the question number and the actual question text. The question number is displayed using a span element with the ID question number, and the question text is displayed using another span element with the ID question.txt. Not question.txt, but question/txt, let's say. We access the question text from quiz data array that we will show you after some time using the current question state variable. So that quiz data array is basically the data that we have created. It is basically an array with the number of questions. You can add questions as per you want, but we have already created this that we will be showing to you. All right. So let's start. Span ID is question number. All right. All right, now another span. This one's ID would be, let's say, question.txt, yeah, as we discussed, /txt. All right. Alright, so as you can see here, the thing is, you might be confusing current question plus 1, why we have done it, because we want to increment the question by 1, so that's why we have done it. As we can see, question numbers, this span ID is for the question number and this for the question text, and this is basically our array that we will be showing to you. We will create this. We already have the data of this quiz data array. So basically what we are doing is we are accessing the question text from quiz data array using the current question state variable. And now you'll ask, where is the current question state variable? That we'll have to create like we did this. Similarly, we will be creating that. All right, here we can see, without wasting time, current question. Here is the current question, and this is basically the updater. So it will update this current question, and the initialized value is 0. All right, so up to this you understood the code. Now let's move on to the next part. Now here what we'll do is, below this question basically div, we have another div with class option container that we'll create to hold the options for the current questions. So what all the options that a current question has, it will hold those questions. All right, so basically in this one we will map through the options array for the current questions from quiz data, that quiz data array, and render a button element for each option. So yeah, let's start and I'll explain to you. All right, so now let's start. All right, let's create a div. All right, now in JSX what we'll write is quiz data current question state dot option container no, not option container, but option dot map. We are mapping basically, so we'll have to option dot options. It will be options dot map. Here we are using the map function to map each element of the quiz data. All right, Alright, now inside this button there will be nothing actually. Class name, let's do something. Yeah, now before writing, let me explain. The button text that we'll be creating is set to current option text, and its class is dynamically set based on whether the option is clicked or not. When a user clicks on an option, it triggers the set clicked option function to update the clicked option state. Alright, so clicked option state, that also will be creating the use state. So you don't have to worry, we'll create that. So the button text is set to current option text and its class is dynamically set based on whether it is clicked or not. So we'll be writing a condition for that. Alright, so let's do that. So this is our condition. So let me just complete the code and then I'll explain to you. Alright. EI click. Alright, so yeah, after this what we can do is, so by mistake it got closed over here, but it should, all of this came under this button. Right, now in between this button, in the button there must be JSX option. Alright, so now let me explain what is this. Like, you must be confusing this code. So here this code represents a button used in a quiz. It has a special class named option button, as we can see. Here it is, option button. So for styling purpose it is. Now depending on whether the button is selected, it dynamically adds a checked class to change its appearance. The key attribute helps React keep track of each button. When clicked, it triggers a function, set clicked option, as we can see, to update the chosen option. The expression I plus 1 ensures each button has a unique identifier. Overall, this button visually highlights the selected option and updates the quiz state when clicked, making it interactive and user-friendly for quiz participants. Alright, so this was about this. So let's move on to the further code. Now we will have to create the use state hooks also. So let's first complete the code. Alright, it was like this only. Alright, so after this div, we will be creating an input type button. Value would be, let's say, next ID next button. Alright, yeah, on click. Alright, so this is what it is. Now let me explain. Now this is the basically the next button. After displaying the options, we render a input button with the value next and the ID next button as we have given. When the user clicks on this button, it triggers the change question function to move to the next question or display the question result if all the questions have been answered. So this is basically the next question button. And if all the questions have been answered, then it will simply display the result. All right, so this is what it is. It will trigger this change question function. Now let's create the what we call use states above. But before that, as we are including use state, then we have to include this use state. All right, now after that we'll have to import some other things as well, like import quiz data. From /data. We will also import the component that is question result, but for that we'll have to create it first. We will be creating that. Let's create the use state hooks for score, as you can say this score one. All right, now use state 0, we will initialize it with 0. All right, now another one is const clicked function, clicked option actually, yeah, and set clicked option use state Alright, so one of this is false. All of these are 0. We have initialized it with. Alright, now the quiz data array. So let me just show you. Here we have this quiz data array. We have already created this, so we're just gonna copy paste it. We'll go to src and new file, name it quiz data.jsx. Right, now we'll just copy paste it, and here we can import it. So we already imported it, so no worries. Yeah, these are the questions that will be asked. Alright, now we'll have to add the functionality for changing the question. We have wrote the code, but we haven't wrote the functionality, so we'll write const change question. Let me just first write it and then explain it to you. Alright, so now update score, this is another function. So first of all it will provoke this function. Now we'll put a condition. If current question is less than quiz data dot length -1, then set current question plus 1, set clicked. Alright, so here what we are doing is, so basically the change question function, this is basically the change question function. This is responsible for updating the current question, handling the transition between questions, updating the user score, and determining whether to display the quiz result once all questions have been answered. So here this is update score. This update score we will understand afterwards. We will be creating this function. So let's just understand the conditional statements. After updating the score in the conditional statements, the function checks if the current question index, that is current question, is less than the total number of questions in the quiz data array -1, that is quiz data.length -1. If the condition is true, it means there are more questions remaining in the quiz. Alright, so after that, moving to the next question, for that set current question plus 1. Now if there are more questions remaining, the function updates the current question state by incrementing it by 1 using set current question plus 1. This moves the quiz to the next question. Additionally, it resets the clicked option state to 0 using set clicked option 0 that we will have written. So this ensures that when the user moves to the next question, no option is pre-selected. That means end of quiz. If there are no more questions remaining, that is if the current question is equal to the total number of questions -1, the function sets the show result state to true using set show results true, that here we can see here. So this indicates that the quiz has ended and the result should be displayed to the user. This is how it is. Now let's create this update score function. So let's start const update score. So in if condition we'll write clicked option triple equals to clicked option triple equals to quiz data, that is the data array. Just a second, by mistake this happened. Quiz data. Now under this current question dot answer. So in this we will set the score, like set score, the use state hook. This is basically the updater. Score plus 1, we're basically updating the score use state. Alright, so this is it. This is const update, we are updating it. So let me tell you, this is the update score function. The first action within the change question function is, so this is the change question function. When this is initiated, this is the first action that is being taken. So this function is responsible for updating the user score based on their selection for the current question. It checks if the option selected by the user matches the correct answer for the current question and update the score accordingly. So that is why only we have this triple equal to. If it is matching, then only the score will be added, otherwise not. So this was it. Now after that there's another function known as reset all function. So let's create that function, const reset all. Set show result false, set current question set, let me just first write these and then I'll explain to you, 0. Then set score 0. This is basically, as the name is suggesting, this is basically for resetting. Basically the reset all function is essential for providing users with the option to restart the quiz from the beginning by resetting all state variables associated with the quiz progress. So set show result false, as we can see. First of all, this line sets the show result state variable to false, indicating that the quiz result should no longer be displayed. So the set current question 0 that is being written. So this line sets the current question state with variable to 0, indicating that the quiz should start again from the first question. Then as we can see, set clicked option is there. This line sets the clicked option state variable to 0, ensuring that no option is pre-selected when the quiz restarts. Then set score. This line sets the score state variable to 0, resetting the user's score to 0. So when the reset all function is called, it essentially reverts the quiz back to its initial states, allowing the users to start the quiz question or quiz afresh. Now the only thing left is to create this component, question result. Alright, so let's just create this question result dot jsx. Alright, so now I'll explain the code to you guys. Let me just write it. So as you can see, this is the code, question result, and now I'm going to explain to you rather than writing. So the thing is, question result is a simple component used to display the quiz result and provide an option to try the quiz again. It receives props from its parent component, that is what we call this question.jsx or app.jsx. The parent component is basically app.js, making it reusable and adaptable to different quiz scenarios. So this is a React functional component named question result. It receives props, that is score, total score, and try again from its parent component. The component returns JSX elements enclosed in a fragment. Inside the fragment, there's a div with class show score, as we can see. So this show score displaying the user score and total score. Below that, there's a button element labeled try again, which triggers the try again function when clicked. Then there are props. Prop score, basically props.score represent the user's score passed from the parent component. Props.total score represent the total possible score of the quiz passed from the parent component. Then props.try again represent the function passed from the parent component, which is called the try again button is clicked. So then the question result component is exported as the default export using export default quiz result. So the thing is, in the parent component, you would import question result component and use it wherever necessary. For example, if you have a quiz component in the parent component, you might render question result below the quiz to display the result. You would pass down the props like score, total score, or function for trying again the question result component from app.js. Alright, so basically here in this component, you'll have to just know that basically displaying the result and provide an option to try the quiz again. Like it basically receives props from parent components, making it reusable, adaptable to different quiz scenarios. Basically, this is what we are doing. Now the final thing that we're gonna do is just include our questions component over here. Alright. So as you can see, one error, one warning is there. Questions is we'll have to export and import it also. So there are few syntax error as you can see, but we'll figure it out. First, let's just export questions. Yeah, export default questions app.js. Here we will be importing it. Import questions from /questions. All right, there are few errors, not in this but over here. It's mostly syntax error. Let's try to figure these out. There are few errors, 2 errors it is showing now. Reset all. Okay, one error is this. All right, quiz data I've done by mistake. It should be question result. All right, now here is some error that I need to figure out. Yeah, here it is. All right, now let's see. Okay, so we need to import this quiz data also. That's why it is like this. Let's just quickly import it. All right, so we have used this GSX brackets. That's why it is saying, because we haven't done the named import. When we are doing the named import, then only we use it, as we're exporting by default, so we don't have to do that. All right, so let's see. So it is like this. Now let's do some CSS styling of it. All right, so we have included the CSS. We will be attaching the CSS in the description. You don't have to worry about it. Now let's see how our app is looking. So it completely changed how it is looking. You can also add transitions and something, make it more stylish, something like that. So which of the following is used to manage component state in React? This is the first question. So use state, this is the correct answer. I'll also select some wrong answers also, so that we can show you the score in the end. What does CSS stand for? Cascading style sheets. All right, next, which is not a JavaScript data type? Let's say object. Just let's say, what was the year when JavaScript was launched? 1996, let's say. Now let's see, there were 4 questions, right? So let's click on next. So as you can see, we scored 2 out of 4. Okay, let's try another one. Use state, cascading style sheets. All right, integer, let's say 1995. 4 out of 4. Yes, we passed the exam on the app. So this is how you can create this app. If you click on try again, it will again load. The code will be provided in the description box. Alright guys, with that we have come to the end of this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I hope it really helped you all. Thanks for watching, stay safe and keep learning.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.